Good afternoon, you ruddy lovely people. Does the Premier League matter anymore for Spurs, and should we rest our first team players? That is the question I want you guys to answer in the comment section down below, and that is the question I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on in today's video, because I do understand the argument of play your first team, personal pride, go out there and pick up as many points as possible. The goal is to win as much as you can, and take a lot of confidence and momentum into that Europa League semi-final. But if we do play our first 11 these next few weeks and we pick up a few injuries, Ange Postecoglou will be absolutely slated. And granted, he's put himself in this position where he can be. We should be competing for stuff in the Premier League. We're not, and a lot of that is down to him and his pathetic management in the domestic cups and in the Premier League this season. But I will not blame him if he does decide to drop some first team players over these next few weeks. Preserve them, as I say, wrap them in cotton wool so they're fit, firing and ready for the Europa League semi-finals. Our biggest game, let's be honest, in years. Those two legs, as I say, those are the biggest two games for Spurs since the Champions League semi-finals back in 2019. They're absolutely huge. So I would completely understand this manager as much as I've slated him this season, wrapping up those players in cotton wool and saving them. What I'd be annoyed at, though, is if, let's say, he rests a few players tonight, right? Let's say he rests Dominic Solanke and Richarlison comes in. I don't want to see those type of changes, because what are we actually going to learn from seeing the likes of Richarlison, Ben Davies, those type of players in the team, that they can occasionally put in a good shift, but a majority of the time they're pretty poor? We know what they're about. They're not going to massively improve. These fringe players that we have on the bench are going to make no real difference to the first team. They're not going to be eager to make a point, because half of them are going to be leaving Spurs. As some of the other half, like Ben Davies, are ageing and leaving soon anyway. I would use this as a real opportunity to rest some first team players and give some academy lads and youngsters a real go in the first team. When are we ever going to get another opportunity like this? Turn a huge negative into a big positive. Turn chicken salad into chicken you know what, you know? We've got a real chance now, because of how bad our league form has been, to give academy lads and youngsters a real chance in the first team. And that will develop them so much more than any club in the Premier League is developing their youngsters in the first team, you know. Giving 3, 4, 5 youngsters a real go in the first team over the next few weeks. That Premier League experience, there's playing academy matches, there's going out on loan, but to be given a chance 3, 4 weeks in a row, 3, 4 games in a row, something like that in the Premier League at the top level to prove yourself, it can only be positive for me. Even if, let's say, we bring in 3, 4 academy lads, and they put on stinker after stinker and bad performance after bad performance, it will be a learning curve, and then we'll find out what they're about. We'll find out if they're ready or not. We'll find out if they're ever going to be ready. It's a real chance to see what our youngsters are about. It's a real chance to give them a huge opportunity. And as I say, if it's about playing for pride, I think those youngsters, those academy lads, will play for pride a lot more than our fringe players sort of on the bench. Because as I say, half of them are leaving, half of them are retiring soon. They know they're not first team players. They're not really going to give you much, you know? Let's be honest about it. But these academy lads will see it as a real opportunity. They'll be running around that pitch like headless chickens. Maybe sometimes in a bad way, but sometimes in a good way. They'll show passion and fight for the badge. That's one thing I can guarantee. So I would use this opportunity that's been created by a horrific season to try and develop some of our youngsters in the Premier League and wrap up our first team players in cotton wool for the semi-finals. I'm a huge critic of Ange, and yes, he's dug himself, you know, this hole. But if he does rest players leading up to that semi-final, people are going to absolutely slate him if we do go on to lose games. Whereas if he doesn't rest players, if you get injured, people are going to absolutely slate him and say, why didn't you save those players for that game? So it's a lose-lose situation there. And again, I don't like this manager. I want him gone. He's put himself in this position. We should be competing for stuff in the Premier League and we're not. And that's why we've got this thing now where, should we play our first team players? Should we not? It should be this point in the season. We play our first team every single game because we're competing on all fronts. But we're not. We're competing on one front, and that one front we've got a real chance of European glory and success. So give the academy lads a chance that they will absolutely revel in, that they will step up or step down. We can find out what they're about. It will give them experience that no other Premier League club is giving their academy lads in the first team. And then you saved your Van der Vens, who we're worried about getting injured, you Dozies, your Solankis. You save those players for the big stage. and you play your Ajays, you play your Mikey Moores, you play your Will Lancashires, maybe even recall Jamie Donnelly for the end of the season and play him. Brandon Austin, give him a go in the first team instead of Kinski, you know, because these players, I guarantee you, will show passion and fight for the badge. And in my opinion, they wouldn't be as bad as if we did start playing fringe players like regular. If we did start playing people like Richarlison, like Ben Davies, like Bissouma, those type of players. So, guys, comment down below your thoughts. Does the Premier League matter? How do you feel about it? Do you care if we win, lose tonight or for the rest of the games? And would you play our first 11 because you believe that Spurs should win every game and you think it could be beneficial taking confidence into the semi? Or do you agree with me? Wrap them up in cotton wool. I cannot speak this. I'm a bit tired. Running off a few hours of sleep the last few nights because I've been staying up for WrestleMania. But do you agree with me that it's a perfect opportunity to play some youngsters and turn chicken you-know-what into chicken salad? So guys, take care of yourselves, have a smashing rest of your day, and as always, come on.